Yeah, so this is the prior generation, the Hopper generation's most powerful chip, significantly more powerful and faster than the H20, which today they are allowed to ship, but buyers are not lining up to get buy the chip. Significantly higher ASPs than the H20, almost 1.5 to 2x higher. So a license for this chip would be huge for NVIDIA, as you pointed out.
Not the Blackwell though, and I'm just curious about
Not the Black.
how powerful this is. Right in we're in this AI race, this tech war, and nowhere is it felt the most between the U.S. and China. So, how powerful an AI chip is it, and how much of it is it a win for Nvidia?
I mean, if you put in context what China can buy today, it's a significant step up from the H20s. Right now, if you believe some of the benchmark comparisons, the H20 today is at par with the competitive alternatives that China has. So an H200 would be significantly better than any other chip they have access to today. Of course, not as good as the Blackwell.
How would you adjust your spreadsheet if NVIDIA is able to sell this chip to China? Like, how does it affect the company's earnings? And again, this is, our reporting at this point by our team, including Mackenzie Hawkins, is that U.S. officials are having early discussions on whether to let NVIDIA sell it. So this is not a done deal, but if NVIDIA were able to do this, what should investors understand about how much they'd be able to sell?
Well, there's two parts to this. There's one, their ability to sell, right? But there's also, remember, today they can sell the H20s, but they were not able to. It was just $50 million of H20s that sold in the quarter. And the reason being there is still that geopolitical friction between the two nations, and the China administration stands that they prefer their companies not buy NVIDIA chips. So buyers are not lining up today. So there's one thing, if they do get a license, that opens the door for them to able to ship. But if the geopolitical tensions continue in disabling Chinese buyers from buying even the new H200s, then you still not adjusting your models, right? I do believe that if they get a license for H200s, there will be some buyers who are on the fence who will have a lot more motivation now, because this is the fastest and the most performing chip they have access to. So we could see some rise in the sales in the China market. But again, that geopolitical tension needs to really ease, and China needs to open up the doors for their companies to adopt NVIDIA chips.
Does it also show some sway, if you will, that Nvidia and certainly Jensen has with the White House? And I just think about this past week, right? There was a black tie dinner with Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, and you certainly saw Jensen Huang there. We saw a lot of activity on social, pictures of him alongside Elon Musk, alongside others. And I just wonder, it sounds like that Jensen Huang has a pretty good relationship with the White House. Is that fair?
From what we see, it would be fair. I don't want to speculate the sway or reach he has inside. But remember, this is the largest, most valuable company in the world. Second, it's at the forefront of the AI innovation, which now all major economies and regions have made their priority, that they really want to be at the center of that. So you would assume that it makes sense for him to be on all of those important seats that you just described.
Hey, before we let you go, Kunjan, I'm wondering about the competition in China right now. And there's this debate that goes on. Okay, is it better to actually let NVIDIA sell advanced chips to another country that might have restrictions on it versus not? Because if you don't sell the chips, then maybe it provides an incentive for China in this example to actually develop these chips themselves. Is there a view that you fall to one side on, where, from the perspective of, okay, would China out innovate, or would China try to out innovate the US with access or without access to these chips? Does it matter?
It does not. I mean, if we just look at, instead of speculating, we just look at the past data, right? Whenever we have tried and limit their access to certain technological advancements, they have accelerated their pace of innovation in that area. There is definitely a thesis, but that by limiting the most latest advanced chips, you can slow down their path, but I don't think you can really shut them off. They have shown time and again, and remember, they have different resources, right? One of the key advantages they have is they don't have any lack of power, especially when it comes to green power, right? So the current chip solutions that Huawei has, while inferior to Nvidia's chip-to-chip basis, they can pool a lot of them together, even if it's inefficient, even if it's more cost and in terms of power, they don't care. They still are able to get comparable outcome and performance to generate AI.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line, it's a win for NVIDIA, right? I mean, this is one of the things, just 30 seconds here. We talked about on the call, like they didn't have any business in China. So this gets them back into China, potentially.
That definitely does. Yes.